Welcome back, brothers and sisters. I am Braden, that guy's Tim, and we have some business to attend to, and this is The Second Legacy, and thank you for stopping by. Today, we are going to talk about something that I'm personally shocked. Guns are being bought at unprecedented levels because of something that the federal government is doing around a border state. Is that enough of a hint for you, Tim? We are going to dive into this. It is going to be so beautiful. Make sure you guys hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn the notification bell on. And we're going to say a quick word from our sponsor, and then we're going to dive into this one. And the content today is brought to you by a sponsor, Ammo Squared. Now, this is such an interesting idea, guys. We're talking about retirement accounts for your ammo. It's a thing. This is something you guys definitely at least look at if you're interested.
So what's really cool about it is you can tell Ammo Squared what type of ammunition you want, and it'll automatically purchase that ammunition throughout the month. You can also sell the ammunition back if you don't want it, or you can just say, send it to me now, and they'll hold it for you. They'll store it for free, and they'll ship it to you whenever you request it. There's so many cool features about this service. You really need to check them out at ammosquared.com, and we want to thank them for sponsoring today's video.
All right, beautiful people. Listen, you guys know the drill. This is Second Legacy. So we take in the happenings of the 2A day, add a little sarcasm, a little humor, send it right back out for consumption. And with that, Tim, we are going to dive into a little town in California near the border. You could never guess where I'm going with this.
No, I can't. I mean, no. Yeah, nothing crazy going on down the southern part of the state down there by the Mexico border. It's just, it's all.
Oh, is that where Mexico is?
I'm pretty sure. I haven't looked at a map. I mean, all my maps are those stupid round ones, like globes. And we all know the world's really flat. So I got to get an updated map, a flat one I can lay on my table. Yeah.
Obviously. It's much more convenient, too. You can put it on a wall. Yep. You can't do that with globes.
I know.
Yeah.
I just can't believe how many people out there think the world's round.
Man, it is. It is embarrassing.
Sarcasm meter, please, Doc.
Good Lord.
Max a flat
earther. Yeah, you just set yourself up for so many comments.
I know, right?
Oh, well, yes, Tim, that California. Because listen to this. How's this for a headline? Tell me this doesn't get your attention. Okay. Californians are buying up guns after Border Patrol starts dumping thousands of migrants on the streets. Well, yep, that checks out.
You know what I find most shocking about that header is the Border Patrol starts dumping thousands of immigrants in the streets. Starts?
Well,
how about has been for years?
There's a few more details later on. No, there's a few more details later on. We're going to get to that. Right, don't worry. It's okay. But you remember, Tim, that California, of course, that's the origin of the 28th Amendment. I mean, that's like Gavin Newsom territory. Like, guns are bad. They're evil. They're the cause of all problems. You know
and that. For those of you who don't know, the 28th Amendment is a proposed amendment by old Gavin. And Gavin wants to basically undo the Second Amendment with the 28th Amendment. So anyway.
That's exactly right. After all, it's just common sense.
Yeah.
It's common sense. Oh, hey, speaking of common sense, listen to a few of the details here, Tim, and then we'll break it down a little bit. So here's some very important things to know about this place in California called El Cajon. Okay. So this is all about people packing a gun store, which is pretty familiar territory for us. But listen to this. Many of the people buying pistols said they were concerned about the massive number of migrants being released onto the local streets after the area became a hub for the crisis at the border, which is just 25 miles from El Cajon, a Southern California suburb of 105,000 people. Now, Tim,
racist!
105,000 people. Well, obviously. Obviously.
Did I jump the gun on that
Check
one?
the knee-jerk reaction.
Okay.
Yep, a little bit, but I liked where your head was at because that was very good knee-jerk reaction. That was good. You are ready for your purple hair.
But I want to point out one thing. So our friend, old Representative Dan Goldman, had something to say. He said that basically the facts are that that illegal immigrants, or immigrants, as he says, are 68% less likely to commit crimes than those born here. There's one problem with that, though. Illegal immigration means they violated federal law, which means 100% of the illegal immigrants are criminals. Not 68%. That's like saying,
weird.
About 50% of the time that my car runs 100% of the time. It's like it's just stupidity with numbers.
Like Sex Panther. Yeah. It's like Sex Panther from Ron Burgundy or Anchorman. Yeah. 66% of the time, it works 100% of the time. Right. Well, and by the way, I just remember from our filming yesterday, the guy who said Guam was going to flip over, Hank Johnson.
Yes, that's him.
Yep. I just remembered it. See, I told you I'd get it. It just took me 24 hours. But yeah, so you remember that number, Tim. This is important. Okay. Very, very crucial. Okay. 105,000 people. So that's that's a pretty moderate sized town, right? It's not a small one at 20,000, but it's also not a bigger area like 500,000, a million. It's a pretty decent size.
It's good size, yeah.
Well, it's average, I would say. So it turns out that since this thing just started, as the title told us, roughly 125,000 migrants have been released onto the streets in the San Diego area since September, which has been a little unsettling. Well, I mean, I'm no mathematician, Tim. But if you got 105,000 people there and you dumped 125,000 more people there, the people who are residents are now minorities.
Yeah. And that was that's just 125,000 recently. That doesn't take into account, the historical number of illegal immigrants that have been, rehomed. Rehomed into California. Is that politically correct enough?
Listen, I felt good about it. No, HR just whispered it in my ear. We're good. It felt nice. It did. We're still trying to get past all the pink hair comments we let in with, but we'll be okay.
Rehomed persons is how we'll refer to them going forward.
Rehomed. Yes.
Now we'll find out.
Been rehomed.
We'll find out very soon if any leftists watch Second Legacy, because if we start hearing the Democrats talking about illegal immigrants and referring to them as rehomed immigrants, then we'll know that we're popular, even on the leftist side of the house. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry. Yeah,
that's exactly what happened. So this part, Tim, before we even get to the gun buying and all that, I just want to point out something what would seem to be obvious about this whole border thing. So the Border Patrol saw a daily average of 1,200 migrants crossing into the San Diego region illegally during the week ending February 4, while some of Texas's busiest sectors averaged just hundreds of crossings during that period. Now, that's weird, because I'm pretty sure that after Texas worked to seal off large swaths of its border with Mexico, everything shifted their way to California.
As will happen, right?
What are the odds, dude?
But keep in mind, Braden, the wall doesn't work, is what we've been told.
No, you're right.
But apparently it's doing something.
No. It's just more convenient. They offered a 3-for-1 special on the California border, so that's why everyone diverted. It wasn't the wall or any border.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't that. It was they made a little extra 1,200 mile journey through the desert because they were offering taquitos.
Yeah.
It's
Burger King burgers.
No, taquitos. They're delicious. Are you kidding me? Have you been to Quick Trip?
Quick Trip? You eat the sushi at gas stations too? What are you talking about?
No, that's not sushi. That's not sushi. That is cooked in. Hold on, we're gonna have a side table conversation right now. Are you telling me you don't eat like hot dogs and stuff from gas stations?
No, who would?
Oh, you're broken.
You probably eat boiled peanuts too, don't you?
Don't you? We are going to fight right now. Boiled peanuts are the best thing ever.
I'm pretty sure I'm talking to a guy that puts salt and pepper on his grits, aren't I? Not sugar and butter. You're weird. Anyway,
I don't know what you're talking about. we put shrimp on our grits.
And hot sauce? Okay.
Not hot sauce. No. I'm not that guy. I'm not a smoker. I don't talk like this. No. So anyway, moving beyond that.
Did we get off in the weeds on that one?
Man, we did. But you know what? It's bottom line. You don't like peanuts and gas station food, so we're going to have a conversation offline. But that doesn't matter. Getting back to the topic. Oh, good Lord. You know what? I can't get past it. Dr. Producer, do you eat things from a gas station or boiled peanuts or anything? Just give me some sort of symbol.
How about no?
See, up here in the north, where we tend to be a little bit more intelligent about eating really dangerous food. I mean, you're probably the type that would go to India and eat street food. Do you ever watch the shorts? It's insane. But anyway,
was that like the physical shorts after you eat them?
Well, you have to watch both shorts. You have to watch the short videos, but then after you eat that stuff, you got to mind your shorts as well.
Watch the shorts. Yeah. Man, that I think this sets the record for the biggest rabbit we've chased off. Anyway,
what were we talking about? California and guns. Okay.
Well, we were talking about the border in California, and I said taquitos, and that started that. So, rearing back off the 4-wheel drive. Yeah, it turns out, Tim, like you said, when people put up walls and stuff, that's odd. Everything shifted. How could it have? Anyway, it couldn't have anything to do with California being a sanctuary state and an open border, and they put a wall in Texas where everything would just basically shifted. Right. It couldn't be that.
They have to be very careful with this one, because if they blame Texas for it because of the wall, then they have to admit the wall works. So now they got to blame something else.
It works. That's exactly right. Well, here's where we get to the payoff, and I think this is the beautiful part of our American experience. We still have the Second Amendment, and we're going to pass it on to the next generation. So, gun controllers. This is the big thing. People in response to this, yeah, they're going in to buy guns of their own. They're just, I see all these people dropping. I see crime increasing. I see homelessness increasing. Yeah, they're buying guns. So listen to this one. This, I think, is, you can tell me a lot more about this part because this is a very big jump. I don't think it's just a number of the undocumented people. I think a lot of people are concerned about the state of our government just allowing this and why, one of the guys said. But listen to this. Local Sherry Finn told the Post the border issue 1000% plays a role in her decision to buy a gun, pointing to the Glock pistol in her bag.
Okay.
Okay. How hard is it and how common is it for someone to go in from never buying a gun to automatically carrying it all the time?
It's very uncommon.
That's a long jump.
Yeah.
That, as I said in my video on this, that's like the path is pretty much contemplate getting a gun, getting uncomfortable, go to a range, get on the rental board, try it out a few times, get some training, maybe buy your first gun, buy a safe at the same time. It stays in the safe, it stays in your house, and then you work your way into concealed carrying.
If you ever get to that point, a lot of people never do.
Right, if you even get there. But you do not just go from 0 to 100, very common.
Unless you're really scared about something.
That's my point. Unless you are extremely motivated by something, which speaks to what we're talking about. All the guns being bought and the gun buying boom that's starting in California because of the federal government's failure to do anything about the federal laws. And then people are taking this type of adjustment. That speaks almost more than the gun buying, in my opinion.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts
on that?
No,
I agree. And what I just truly hope is when these people go out and buy guns, because we saw this during the Wuhan Weezer period, a lot of new gun owners coming in to buy their first time firearm. And what we would talk to them about in conversation is like, hey, you do know that the government's actively trying to deny you access to these things, that they're trying to ban that. Well, not the one I'm buying. Like, well, actually, it's kind of funny. I'm going to divert one more time. We had a guy come in to buy an AR-15 and we were telling him that, you know, this, you have to become politically active if you want to keep this because the government's actively trying to ban these. He goes, why are they trying to ban them? And the conversation drifted into, well, they think that they're the cause of crime and all this stuff. Well, I don't want that. Give me something else. He bought something that wasn't.
Oh my God.
It's like, okay, so that leftist mind virus still had a little bit of leverage on him.
Oh, it's still there. But, still there.
It's like, why? I don't want to have something the government doesn't think I should have. But honestly, these people really need to understand that if they go out and they make statements like this, they have to become politically active, not just go silent on the issue, right? Because, well, I was kind of wrong, and I just want to go silent on this one. No, become politically active on the issue, because this is how you change minds.
That's exactly correct. And that's the last piece before I tell you something that the mayor says, and to wrap the story up. That's the main piece. You've got gun controllers and the leftists are telling us that guns are the problem and gun rights are the issue. And if guns just didn't exist, no crime would exist. Then you have another one of the pillars of the Democratic Party is pretty much open borders and open immigration across the board. Like, get as many people in here as you can. Don't know who it is. Don't know anything. No vetting. Hey, more people, more better. Right? Well, because they do that, they're actually increasing the gun ownership rate in the United States, which will eventually lead to more immersion in the culture, which will eventually undermine their gun control desires even further.
Right. This is one thing that people on both sides of the political aisle that become radicalized. What they don't realize is the more radical they become and the more vocal they become about that radical ideology, the more it causes effects like this, right? They don't realize that their radicalism is prompting people to actually go out and buy guns because they're scared of the radicals and their positions, bringing in all the illegal immigrants, flooding the city streets with them. They're doing it because they want the votes. They want to get these people into the country, then they want to get amnesty to these people, and then they want to buy the vote by having done all that, right? But at that same time, they're causing the people that live in these areas extreme concern. They're subjected now to violence and crime, and now they're going out to arm themselves. Because of their radicalism, they're actually prompting people to go out and do things that they're trying to stop. And so everything that you do when you're being radical about things is causing the other side to react. And many times in the opposite direction, you're trying to push them. So I guess the moral of the story is try to not be such a radical sometimes. Now, people would say we're radicals or we're not, right? I don't view us as radicals.
We're just following the Constitution. like, no, not at all.
We're just as
Because
radical as our
it's
founding
following the
fathers were. Right,
Constitution.
right.
I mean,
We're not
exactly.
trying to strip people of their rights. We're trying to preserve rights. That doesn't make us radical. It makes us
Correct.
conservative.
Oh, it's just conserving something.
Right.
It's weird. Well, Tim, here's the point, and I think this is such a excellent point to round up because this is what the mayor in the area said about this exact same scenario. This is number 7. Migrants continue to be released onto the streets in and around San Diego because Border Patrol processing centers in the region have more than twice as many as they can hold. Okay. El Cajon Mayor Bill Wells acknowledges his residents don't feel safe because of the flood of the illegal border crossers in his city. Quote, we see the massive amounts of violence that's happening, a lot of the immigrant situation, but a lot from the homeless situation as well, told the Post. People are frightened, and I do believe they are arming themselves more.
Yeah. You know what's funny? I mean, I know there's a different point you want me to get to, but how many times this article they refer to illegal immigrants like multiple different ways? They call them migrants. They call them illegal border crossers. They do everything they can to avoid calling them illegal immigrants, which is precisely what they are because they have to break federal law to get here. It's just so funny that they dance around. There must be 50 different phrases to refer to illegal immigration.
It goes back to your high school theory where you try to get the 3/4 page into a page by adding more description.
Right.
No contractions, no nothing.
Exactly. Oh, anyway. So, yes, there are massive amounts of violence that's happening. Of course, when people are willing to break laws to get here, they're probably going to continue breaking laws once here.
That's weird.
It's oh my goodness. They act surprised by all of this. Because I guarantee you at some point, many of these people were probably like, oh yeah, that's fine. And their far left ideology, at least on this particular topic, is starting to come back to a more centrist ideology because they're being victimized. Funny how that works.
Well, but that's the way that it always works.
Right.
That every single time you get lured in and seduced by this lofty, everything is amazing and it'll be utopia of the leftist propaganda. And then once you get a taste of that delicious cupcake, it turns into sawdust in your mouth and you're like, I don't like it.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, no kidding.
Welcome to our side of the debate. Anyway, so you know what's heartwarming about all this, though? People are exercising their Second Amendment rights for the reasons that the founding fathers intended, right? You're supposed to be able to protect yourself, your property, others. And that is the great thing about the Second Amendment. It guarantees all of our other rights. Thank you for watching Second Legacy, and we'll talk to you guys soon.